Hi and welcome to another instalment of the hybrid drum lessons for Rhythm Magazine. Today we're going to talk about layering sounds. So not layering electronic sounds over acoustic drum sounds using triggers like we've done in the previous session. This time actually taking two samples within our module and having them both play at the same time. So for the first example that you've got written out in the magazine, what we're going to do is we're going to have a hand clap and a tambourine play at the same time. So the first thing we need to do for that is actually create that layered sound. So we're going to do that starting off in the TM6 Pro. So what I'm going to do is head into my instrument menu like we've done, every session pretty much throughout the series, and then start by going with a hand clap. Okay, so any one will do. There we go, standard hand clap. So that's assigned to the rim of the snare. So when I play a rim shot, you're going to hear that hand clap. Now, in order to add the tambourine, it's actually really simple in the TM6 Pro because we can turn a B layer on. So you can see at the top of the screen it says A, so our primary sample is the hand clap, and then our B layer is the tambourine, which I've already set on, so you can just turn it on and off really easily. And then of course that layer could be absolutely any sound you want. It could be one that you've imported yourself as well. So now we should hear a hand clap and a tambourine at the same time. There we go. Now to delve in a little bit deeper and customize that, we can go into the edit menu, and then by default it will be set to mix, which clearly just mixes the two sounds together. And then if we hit edit, it'll actually let us choose the volume of each. So what I've done is just boosted the hand clap a little bit, and then edged back with the tambourine. So the tambourine is a little bit quieter in the mix than the hand clap. Okay, actually I'm going to bring that tambourine a little bit further back up. There we go. So that's the mix function. And then if we go to fade, this is where things start getting a bit more interesting and we can really kind of customize our sound. So with fade, you set the level, you set the threshold, so it says fade point, at which the B layer actually comes in, which is very similar to what we did when we looked at the threshold of our triggers to only have, at the time it was a hand clap, we only wanted that to sound when we really hit the snare hard. So it meant that our ghost notes, we weren't getting any layered samples at that point. So with this, we'll always hear the A sample. So at a quieter level, we're always hearing the hand clap, and it's going to mean that I'm going to have to hit it a bit harder, and of course the fade point is going to dictate how hard I actually have to hit that. There we go, so that's a bit high for me because I'm really having to hit that hard. So I bring that fade point down. And then, so when I'm playing a really hard rim shot, it means that I'm going to hear the tambourine layer and the hand clap layer at the same time. And then similarly, if we put it on switch, it works with the exact same threshold functionality, but of course, rather than actually playing both sounds at the same time, it will switch one for the other, which can be really cool. So now, if I hit a quieter rim shot, hand clap, and then if I hit the hard rim shot, you'll only hear the tambourine. So this obviously can be awesome in a kind of actual musical setting, and we'll be exploring that a little bit later in the session. So first off, we'll start with example 1, where we've got a 16th note based groove, and where we're going to be playing the snare drum on 2 and 4 as we usually would, but beat 4 is going to be accented, so that's where we're going to hear our layered, our hand clap and our tambourine, whereas in beat 2 we'll just hear the snare drum by itself. So here it is, here's exercise 1. Now for exercise 2, we're going to blend a sub drop in with our bass drum using, of course, our kick trigger that we've got here. So into the instrument menu again, And this time, let's just give the bass drum a quick kick. There we go. And we'll go kick drum. Doesn't really matter which one. Let's go with this low kick. So we turn the B layer on to, I believe that it's in percussion actually. Let's look. So we're looking for a sub drop. There it is. So we've got sub drop 1. So now we should hear the kick drum sample and the sub drop over the top. So if we leave that as a mix, and then just as we did with the snare drum, we can blend it. So what I'm going to do actually is leave the kick drum sample at 0, and then really try and boost this this sub drop just so that we can hear it. That's potentially a bit too much. Yeah, let's bring a bit. There we go. So the more, kick drum sample that we bring in, the more kind of click, the more attack it's going to have. And obviously that sub drop's going to really bring it down and also lengthen the note as well. So we could do the same thing where we set it to fade so that, at a lower dynamic, we're only going to hear the kick drum sample, and then when we hit it harder, we're going to hear the sub. But for now, we'll just leave it on the mix setting. Every time we hit that bass drum, we can hear both sounds together. So here's example 2. For the final example, we're going to blend our floortom. So of course we've got the acoustic floortom sound, which is captured through the microphones here, and then I've also put a sampled floortom, which is built into the TM6, and then I'm going to put a kick drum in with that as well, but on a fade. So when I hit the floortom really hard, then you're going to get that nice blended kick drum, which is going to add loads of initial kind of attack and punch to it. So back into the instrument menu. So there we go. So let's just turn that sample off. So we've got, even though I'm on a little jazz kit actually at the moment, but of course I've got a 14-inch floortom, and then so I could set it, to a 14. I've set it to a 16, and then change the pitch so that it's just about even, just about matches the actual acoustic pitch of the drum. So as you can see here, I've already added the kick drum into the B layer, and then we just need to make sure we go to the edit, and then we've got it set up as a fade here. So at a low velocity again, we're just going to hear the floortom sound. And then at harder dynamic, let's pop it into switch so that we can really hear where that changes. There we go. So I could actually up that fade point a little bit, just because I want to be hitting it really hard to hear, to hear the different sounds. Down just a touch. Okay. And then rather than switch, again, just back to fade. So for example 3, we're going to play a bar of groove, and that can be any groove that you like, and we're going to use a 16th note linear fill so that we can hear the punch of this floortom with the kick drum sample blended into it. So here's example 3. An eclectic mixture of examples there, but each one hopefully just demonstrates the possibilities of layering these samples together. No matter what kind of music you're playing or what kind of styles you're into, you can use these techniques to really kind of push the boundaries a little bit and you know, and get the technology working for you in a musical setting, which is what it's all about. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you guys for the next installment.